Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Slamhub Wrestling. Myself Suprit, and this is your AEW Dynamite review for March 24th, 2021. And before we talk Dynamite, I wanted to check your status, how you're doing recently after banging your head on the wall.
uh, I'm I'm absolutely fine. With regards to Team Evolution is now suspended, and it was taped a few weeks ago. The episode, the whole, what happened on backstage. So yes, I'm healed. I'm fine, and now Team Evolution would not be seen on Wrestle Square anytime soon.
So more info on that on the Wrestle Square YouTube channel.
Yes.
Back to Dynamite. What do you think about this week's show, man? A lot of heavy wrestling related show for Dynamite this week.
Yes, I would agree. This show, yes, it was, in my opinion, a decent show. Not, out of the blue, amazing. Yes, the last two matches, the women's match and the TNT Championship match, in my opinion, I really, enjoyed. I was highly entertained by those matches. The rest of the card, the rest of the show, it was good, but the last two matches really made the show great or good, you know, in my opinion.
So let's see. We had Kenny Omega versus Matt Sydal, the Pinnacle versus Dante Martin and Varsity Blondes, Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler versus Laredo Kid and Lucha Bros, Nyla Rose versus Conti, and in the main event, Darby Allin versus John Silver for the TNT Championship. So before that, if you are new to this channel, then make sure to like, share, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. We will be doing main roster talk this week. We will be talking about Fastlane, WrestleMania, the release of Andrade Cien Almas, and what's the situation with Charlotte Flair. So check that out. On the topic of Andrade, so wanted to get your thoughts on this whole situation in regards to if he's coming to AEW, or is it right for him to jump ship right now to AEW? So thoughts on this, Abby?
Uh, Whatever I have read on the internet, that is that he doesn't have a 90 days non-compete. So we can expect him on some show, but I guess it would be wherever he is making an appearance. So that would be a high stakes match wherever he gets to make a debut. Someone, I guess it was keeping it 100 on that is the Conan podcast. Someone was saying that Conan said that he would be talking to Roosh of Ring of Honor, and they are buds. Andrade, Roosh, they were in a faction some time ago, so they are friends. So there is a high possibility that we can see Andrade on Ring of Honor television. And there is the another scenario that is, the Selena Vega thing. So Selena Vega or Thea Trinidad, she has been signed, in my opinion, to All Elite Wrestling. They are just thinking of when to debut her in what scenario. So if that is, in play, so we can see Andrade on AEW. So there's that. And the world is his oyster, in my opinion. Andrade on NXT was brilliant. He was amazing. And before he was, wherever he has competed, he is an international superstar. Vince McMahon had a guy who had incredible talent, but he just got wasted, to be quite honest. On the main roster, he wasn't used to his full potential. They were thinking of making him the next Eddie Guerrero or whoever, but the fact is they just didn't. They weren't able to, see or how to, make him that star. They weren't able to. I don't know how. Maybe the creative is shit, but that is common knowledge. We all know that, obviously. So wherever he goes, he would be a star. So it is up to him where he goes. He goes to New Japan or Ring of Honor or AEW. So it is up to him, obviously. And with regards to Charlotte Flair, I can say a little controversial thing, but the people would not like that very much. The fact is there was a report on, I guess, Reddit, that Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair pushed WWE in the corner to get Andrade the release for the said purpose. That there was a report, Andrade filed for a release, then the reports came that WWE is not granting him a release, and then Charlotte Flair and Ric Flair pushed WWE in a corner, and Andrade finally got his release. So many things happened. So WWE gave Charlotte a thing that you are getting him a release. So we are giving you a thing that you will not get an appearance on WrestleMania. So that is your punishment. That was the whole report. So now we are getting to know that Charlotte Flair is out with the fever. So I'm not buying into the fever thing. I am more into that how Andrade got his release, and I am very much into an agreement that whatever happened and what was in the report, I am very much in agreement. Charlotte even threatened WWE that she will walk out with Andrade of WWE. So WWE, gave into her demands. So that is all what happened, and that was in the reports. There's that.
But what about Andrade coming to AEW? Is it the right move? Because as of now, the whole AEW roster is overflowing, and recently they have made a lot of big signings. Christian Cage, Big Show. Is it right for Andrade to jump right now to AEW, or go somewhere else like Impact, New Japan, or Ring of Honor, like you said?
Um, the thing is that if he can, make appearances here and there without being exclusive, then it's great because AEW is, planning the second show on their network on TNT. So the fact is that when there is a second show, the talents would be spread far and about. So then it would be needed, and Andrade will fit right in. There would be no problem with regards to TV time and being booked uh, to his full potential. So we don't know as of this time when the second show is coming about. Hopefully in the fall, but right now it is up to, of course, Andrade or La Sombra. We should call him La Sombra now. So what he wants to do, probably he would go to New Japan. Probably he will do Ring of Honor. But what is his next move? What he feels comfortable with, and not being, suppressed under someone's creative. So that is his choice, and we wish him all the best.
So let's get back to Dynamite. The show started off very hot. Kenny Omega versus Matt Sydal. If Sydal wins this match, he gets a world title match. So commentators here, they talked about how these two have been feuding for years. From PWG to New Japan to now in AEW. They also talked about how this feud started in AEW a few weeks ago. They did an angle with Sydal facing Nakazawa at dark elevation, all that stuff. About the match, a really good match here, solid way to start Dynamite, especially with a Kenny Omega match, which is a new thing they did there. So, what did you think about this match?
Yes, I think it was a decent match in my opinion, a solid match, as you said. It is a good, set of words to put it. I guess, you know, how they came about the story with regards to it, I'm not a big fan of it, but nonetheless, it is just two incredibly talented people going at it in the first match of the show. So we can expect little to no selling. It is a hot start match. So it was what it was. And with regards to, the outcome, yes, we knew the world champion would be winning. But at some points, it came very close that probably Matt Sydal could have gotten the victory. So that is what kept us hooked in this match. So that is, kudos to both the guys, Omega and Matt Sydal. Matt Sydal is a veteran in his own right. He has been in WWE. He has been on the independent circuit. He has been in Impact Wrestling. So kudos to the guy. And it was one of his better outings in AEW, of course. Yes, AEW, of course. And I also observed that JR has changed his stance with regards to Don Callis. Uh, Loved it, absolutely. He was being hostile towards Don Callis, as most of the times he has been a little bit accommodating to his views, but now he was hostile, he was aggressive many a times with regards to Don Callis, as he is the enemy, he's the villain, he is from Impact Wrestling, from enemy territory. So you have to be hostile with him. You cannot give him a candy and being good with him. So that was great, absolutely. And Don Callis is amazing on the commentary. He was getting the award for best commentary from the Meltzer newsletter, whatever the awards, but he gave it away. He was ranked number 8, and it was, highly touted on Keeping It 100 on the Keeping It 100 podcast that Don Callis was being awarded with the awards. All the votes were in his favor. It was, there wasn't even any competition. But being a selfless spiritual guy, what he did, he said to Dave that no, I do not want that. I am being generous. Give it to some other guy, give it to someone new, and give me something, down that it doesn't create a fuss. So that is why he was ranked number 8. And I guess Excalibur won, in my opinion, who is also great in his own right. So Don Callis is a giving guy. Why people hate on him, I don't know. I seriously don't know. Why do you hate Don Callis?
He's a heel.
He is a heel. He is not a heel. AEW touts that the wrestlers, the commentators, everyone, they are real people. Pentagon Jr. was wrestling as a baby face this week. Last week he was a heel. What the fuck is happening? No, they say it now that they are people. They react to situations. So you check out the the thing which is of the past, the thing which made wrestling. That is, one is a heel, one is a face, and they're fighting it out. And the fans are invested that they want the heel to be beaten. So That is what AEW touts out loud.
Let's talk some highlights of this match here. So they begin with little mat-based offense. Omega was seen talking to himself throughout the match. We would see some great near falls at the end. So Omega was going for a one-winged angel. Sydal, he counters into a reverse Rana. So Sydal was going for the shooting star press, but gets stripped. So Omega with a high V trigger. I think we saw yet another counter to the one-winged angel. But finally, Omega was able to hit the one-winged angel for the win. That was it. Brilliant stuff
Yes,
here. Brilliant way to begin Dynamite.
absolutely.
So from that, we get to a interview segment with John Silver. So
And one more thing with
mhm.
regards to the first match. In the end, Excalibur told the point which we also said last week on our review, that the fact he reiterated that Kenny Omega's finisher has been broken by only one guy that is outside of AEW. He reiterated that fact. Whole of the run of Kenny Omega in AEW, they haven't said that. They have said nobody has kicked out of the one-winged angel. But this week, they acknowledged it. Even on Impact Wrestling, Kenny Omega name dropped the person, Kota Ibushi, in his moronic Triple H-esque promo, which was atrocious. It was so bad. Only Don Callis was the saving grace in that promo. Do not give the mic to Kenny Omega, but after this show, I would say give the mic to Kenny Omega. He is a mixed bag with regards to promos, in my opinion. Just
And
saying facts. And yes,
hit and
of
miss.
course.
Hit and miss when it comes to Omega promos.
Yes, absolutely. And there was also, a promo which was cut last week on our review show, the Dynamite review, with regards to Tony Khan, in which I said that he is a hypocrite and blah, blah, blah. So that also got a little viral, so to speak, and is still on the run. So I got some visits on my Facebook profile. Some members, the top members of the Pinnacle, they visited my profile.
Oh no.
So there's that. So I guess they have seen it. I have said in the past that AEW and AEW's roster members have seen, have heard the Slamhub Wrestling podcast, Slamhub Wrestling reviews, our reviews when we have started the AEW reviews. But now it is high time they have seen it and they are now seeing it. So there's that.
Which means Abby Maniac is in the hit list of the Pinnacle. Oh, buddy. Anyways, we're talking about a John Silver interview segment. So he was talking about how he's preparing for his TNT title match. So all of the Dark Order members started doing coffin drops. Allin Angel joins in. Nobody catches him. Poor guy. So nearby we see Hangman Page. He asks if Silver is nervous. So Silver says no, because he's Johnny Hungry. So Page says, win or loss, he will be proud of him. Speaking about Hangman Page, so this guy was in action next. He was facing Cezar Bononi. And according to the match graphics, it looks like Cezar Bononi is in a group or with someone. I think it's Ryan Nemeth and JD Drake. According to the match graphics, I'm saying, but no further information was given to us on commentary team. I don't know why.
No.
But about the match, this was a quick one here. Bononi got in some offense, but Page would get the win with a buckshot lariat, and that was it. Anything you want to add here?
Nothing. That is there. Just that Cesar Bononi has been on Dark. He has been on Dark Elevation. He has been on NXT as well. So there is potential in the guy. He has the size. He has the build. So they, if they are willing to invest in the guy and give him something, so probably, he can, be an asset to AEW. And whenever the second show comes about, he can shine. But now, as you just said, they, showed that he is a part of the group, something. It is probably an international alliance or something like that. So we didn't get much of it. But is there something going on with regards to them on Dark or Dark Elevation? I don't know, because I don't watch either of those shows. But nonetheless, work on it. It is for the future, of course, and we have to wait and see. Whatever we saw of Cesar Bononi, it was good in this match. But yes, absolutely, Hangman Adam Page is a top star. He won't eat much of the offense, and it was a good match. It was what it was, and it was as it should be. Absolutely. And there was something with regards to being the elite, the end angle which they did this week. So, would you like to shed some light on it? There were many conspiracy theories with regards to that.
I think they addressed the situation, what happened with Matt Jackson and Hangman Page, I guess, on who sent that text all those months ago. It was, I think it was revealed as Matt Hardy. Then, Matt Jackson then went into a sad phase saying Hangman Page is happy with the Dark Order or something. There's some story to it,
Mhm.
you know. And we could get
Mhm.
that payoff when Hangman Page wins the AEW World Championship.
From Omega, probably next year.
Maybe the end of the year.
Mhm.
We had a little
Let's see.
promo from Lance Archer as well. So he was seen in a warehouse calling out Sting. So he's still upset that Sting is taking his TV time. Nothing much here, but I want to ask you if you are feeling the same, because it's still confusing that Jake Roberts is rarely used in these promo segments. What do you think about it?
Yes, I would agree to that. Either his health is somewhat of a issue, so that could be it. And this promo, it did look good in my opinion, because how Lance Archer was saying the words, and he, wanted us to know that he's the murder hawk monster. He said the term probably a million times in that promo. Get that. I get that it is your catchphrase, it is your whatever the fuck. But, you know, the other words which we are saying in that promo, it should make us invested. And how you are saying those words, what is your body language, what is the emotion from the face, from the body, it was blank. It was nothing. It didn't have the sense of urgency, in my opinion. So it didn't look good. Probably Jake Roberts would have done a better job, but if his health is a concern or something like that, then we will, the ball is in the Murder Hawk Monsters court. So he has to do it, but boss, work on the promo. You are not making us invested at all. Yes, your structure and everything like that is good, but make us invested. Make us believe that you are a monster. Just saying the words monster doesn't make you a monster. Give us that. Give us that energy. Give us that, the look. That would make you a monster. That would make us invested.
So from that, we get highlights of Thunder Rosa versus Britt Baker. We see Shivani, so he was interviewing Britt Baker. So Shivani asked the crowd to give her applause for her performance last week, but Baker isn't pleased. Baker was taking all the credit here, says that Thunder Rosa should be thanking her. So Baker calls out Mick Foley and thanks him for the thumbs up, but says it took him 20 years to become a hardcore legend, while it took her just one night. She says She says the three epic letters in pro wrestling today: DMD. Great promo here by Britt Baker. Usually after when a wrestler does, gets a hype for a week, most fans tend to get behind her, make her a baby face. But she managed to, keep that heat, not allowing anybody to cheer her. Great stuff. What do you think about it?
Absolutely, I would agree with that. 100%. She did a great job doing that, getting the heel heat and not letting them be, getting them behind and then being a babyface. Yes, she did a marvelous job in her match. Absolutely. She is a heel. Absolutely. She does her character work is perfection. She is maybe not, the best in ring performer, but the character work is what sells tickets and does the stuff and sells the shows and makes the fans invested. So it's great, and she this promo is an example of what she did with the character, and the fact that many the thing with regards to their match on last week's show, there was one little complaint. I don't know if it is good or not. Maybe the fans would say that you are nitpicking, but the fact is that yes, it was a great match. It was a good match, of course, with regards to whatever hardcore shit happened. But the thing which makes the match great is the storytelling. So whatever happened throughout, from the start till now, the commentators could have done a little better job in selling that throughout the match. A little better job. That's it. Yes, you gave us the pre-package, of course, but the the commentators could have done a little better job. They could have, given the fact that Thunder Rosa came here. She was an outsider. She came from NWA. She took the thunder off, Britt Baker, and Britt Baker was touting herself to be the face of AEW. So they could have poured fuel to that fire, and they could have told that story throughout the match. So that could have made that match even better rather than just going through the moves.
Listen, man, not every match can be a faster match.
No, there cannot be. Absolutely. But storytelling a little bit. I am not saying to the wrestlers, I am saying to the commentators. They could have done a little better job. If they would have, that could have taken it far above. That is what I am saying. It is now just a women's empowerment exhibition that they did a phenomenal job in a hardcore match. They they bleed, they buckets, and it was a showcase. But the story, if the commentators could have done that job, it would have taken it far beyond. Just an opinion.
So up next, we had Christian Cage. So he was seen having a conversation with Dante Martin and Varsity Blondes. So Christian asked Dante how Darius is doing. He said that Darius is still injured. So here comes Frankie Kazarian. He shows up. Him and Christian go buddy buddy for a second until Kazarian asks him when the work starts for Christian. So Christian says next week against Kazarian himself. So Kazarian accepts and also told him to watch his match at Dark Elevation. Take some notes. I think Kazarian is perfect for Christian's first match. Everybody talks about how Kazarian is underrated. Could be a great match here.
Yes, I would agree. And we talked about that when his shirt is saying outwork everyone, he has to do that. He has to showcase that, and he has to make the fans invested in that he is here to outwork everyone. So now the work starts next week, and we expect a great match. Absolutely.
Let's get to FTR and Sean Spears, the Pinnacle versus Dante Martin and Varsity Blondes. Obviously, this is the first match as a group for the Pinnacle. So the Pinnacle, they come out to very horseman-like team. About the match, not exactly a squash match because the babyface got lot of the offense at the beginning, but at the end the Pinnacle get the win. So Sean Spears hit the C4 on Dante, and that was it. We had a post-match beatdown. Following that, Wardlow would hit the corner knee on Brian Pillman Jr. So we even had a small interview with Shivani. So FTR, so they take the mic, calling out Santana and Ortiz, saying the marquee reads pro wrestling, and this is not a Saturday Night Live skit, and basically putting over the Pinnacle. So MJF got on the mic, so he was expecting Jericho to come after them, but Shivani reminds them that Jericho is still injured. So MJF takes offense to this as Wardlow puts his hands on Shivani's shoulders. Shivani says, "Never mind, I left." Uh, so finally, MJF has something planned next week, he says, and it's all about the gold that the Pinnacle will be holding. So looking forward to that. And what you think about this whole presentation here, Abby?
uh, I would agree with the fact that yes, the babyface has got a lot of offense, and I thought that you know I thought, or you can say, I wanted them to be a little more dominant, them being the Pinnacle, and if they are calling themselves the Pinnacle or a top tier faction, so I don't see that the dominance and being a top tier faction here. It was their first match after destroying the Inner Circle. That is the top tier faction of this promotion, which has been in existence since day one. So if they are calling themselves a top tier faction, how the fuck is this happening that they ate such a huge amount of offense from three hungry young guys. I would give them, yes, the benefit of the doubt that they are highly talented, highly skilled. Garrison Pillman Jr. and Dante Martin of the Top Flight and Varsity Blondes. But the fact is that if you are building a top tier faction, you should assert some dominance and give us that feel that they are a top tier faction and they are nothing to mess with. So such performances puts them down a pedestal. First, they destroyed the Inner Circle. That is a top tier faction. Now they ate a lot of offense, but they won. Yes, they won. But they were against three guys who are young, hungry, talented. Of course, I agree with that. But that puts down their stock a little. They could have had such a match, such a competitive match against top tier tag teams or top tier factions. If this were a match that is FTR versus LAX, fine, absolutely fine. If this was somewhat like Sean Spears versus Sammy Guevara, fine, absolutely. But this match should have been a little shorter. Pinnacle should have been a little more dominant, in my opinion. There's that. And any other thing with regards to it? Yes, the Varsity Blondes and Dante Martin are amazing. Absolutely. And they are only going to get better as the days go by. Absolutely.
In my opinion, they did the job with the Pinnacle, because that was a short match, and from my point, they did get some offense, basic wrestling 101, but they quickly dominated the baby faces, and got that quick win. So nothing much in that way. Let's see. Let's see how the future booking comes with the Pinnacle. Show more of the dominant side. Speaking
Yes.
about group, let's talk about Team Taz here. So we see Taz, they say that he was discussing with the entire group about, Cage apologizing to the entire group for putting over Sting. So he said that everything is good with Team Taz. Cage has a very confused look on his face and just puts his catchphrase. There you go.
I am expecting Cage versus Starks in the near future.
That is, the slow burn of that story, because Cage will eventually be out of that Team Taz group.
Yes.
So up next we have Shivani. So he was entering QT Marshall. So you see Marshall talking about his work lately in AEW, both in ring and outside the ring, but he is still known as Cody's friend. We get Cody's friend chants from the crowd. Marshall says he wants to prove himself and wants an exhibition match against Cody next week. So Cody is out, still wearing his headset. He grants Marshall the exhibition match, also pitch Arn Anderson as a special guest referee. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this entire segment and thing, because they are building to, a eventual turn of QT Marshall with the Nightmare family, and we could see that next week. But how do you think AEW built this up? How they set this up?
Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Basically, the promo of QT was, it was not very good in my opinion. Yes, he did try, of course, and he also pointed to his wife. Some odd months ago, he was, inside the bunny. And what is the continuity, man? And the fact that whatever he said, where was the emotion, man? Where was it? Where was the urgency? But do we care a fuck? I'm just saying to you, do you care about QT Marshall? Do you?
I'm not a QT Marshall
I'm
guy.
a
I'm not a QT Marshall guy, but I am invested in the story because there has been some continuity since Revolution.
yes. There is continuity with regards to that, but the fact is that how they came about with all of this, that yes, he is showing some signs of, turning, blah blah blah. He is not even, helping his tag team partner. Who was it? Who
Lee
was
Johnson.
getting beaten to a pulp. Yes, probably Lee Johnson, who was getting beaten to a pulp. Was that not enough to tell you that he doesn't give a fuck about the Nightmare family? Was that not enough? Now, even now he gets TV time. He gets to do an interview, and then he is saying that I want a match against Cody. All right, but what are your frustrations? What are your grievances? He isn't even able to show anger or sadness in such a way that we get invested. Yes, the Cody's friend chants are good. Of course, they are the people of his, his coaching or his whatever factory, whatever.
Nightmare
So
Factory.
they are yes, Nightmare Factory. So they are helping him out. Obviously, he's getting heat from them, of course. But overall, holistically, who is giving a fuck about this? And Cody is wearing a sling, and he is getting a match. He is next week, and he will be perfectly all right. QT versus Cody, and then the special enforcer or special referee is Arn Anderson. Who gives a fuck? Seriously.
Let's see how this turns out next week. And speaking about not giving a fuck, so they announced that Cody Rhodes and Brandon Rhodes are getting a TV show on TNT. So, so the name of the show is called Roads to the Top. So, we are finally getting a alternative to Miz and Mrs., which is a good thing. Next match here, Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid.
Can I say one thing with regards to the show?
Yeah, shoot.
Many people were shitting on the show. Of course, you are also probably many are of course, because we are watching wrestling. Obviously, we are not into reality shows. Many are not. Many would be looking forward to seeing the show, or would a little bit want to watch that show because let's check out what is there, what is not. But the fact is, it can help the show AEW in the sense that the reality show, people who like reality show shit, they would watch the show and they can get, traction from there. That they would know about AEW, that what is AEW, what is that, what is what, and they can get into AEW from that show. And then with regards to that, the marks were, complaining about that Cody Rhodes always wants to be in the limelight and always wants to be center stage. That he always gets to, compete with celebrities. Nobody else gets to compete with celebrities. So my point of view is, if there is a celebrity who wants to compete in AEW, who wants to, probably publicize his show, his appearance somewhere in AEW. So who does he want to work with? He wants to work with a top star, number one. He working with a low card or mid card would not help it. And then second, a safe worker. Do you believe that the Young Bucks are safe workers, or the said celebrity can work the style of the Young Bucks? Please answer me.
In that regards,
Yes or no?
Cody Rhodes is the safest wrestler right now.
Yes. The safest and the said celebrity also cannot work the style or the physicality of Kenny Omega. So the third, the only person who is there is Cody Rhodes, who can work with celebrities as of this point. And when he worked with Shaq, who got the rub, who got the shine, who is now on everybody's mind? That was not a poem. I am very sorry for being such a great, doing the shairi and shit. It was Jade who got a brilliant rub. Pun not intended. I'm very sorry. But she has showcased to the people that she is a great talent, and now people are in awe of her and they respect her. So it helped her as a talent. So you shitting on Cody Rhodes, he is the only guy who can work with celebrities. And it also helps Cody Rhodes because he cannot, as of this point, challenge the World Heavyweight Championship, as that is all over. So now, if he is working with celebrities, why are you shitting on him? That is only getting traction for AEW. What the fuck is wrong with you, you fucking marks? What is wrong?
Anyways, let's talk about Lucha Bros and Laredo Kid versus the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler. So you may be wondering, where is Pac? Why is Laredo Kid here? So I got some news on Pac here. So Tony Khan himself said on Twitter that Pac is out with an ankle injury and the return date is still unclear. So in that case, bringing out Laredo Kid was a great backup. Who knows when Pac would come back? Maybe it could be weeks or maybe months. You can't say that. You can't predict that. So Laredo Kid was a great backup, and maybe they could go back to the route of making Phoenix and Penta a legit tag team again.
Yes, absolutely.
So about the match, top to bottom, this was a total spot fest, and it actually, it was no surprise because of the wrestlers involved. So at the end, we see Laredo Kid. He would get the win with a Spanish fly, or I like to call it the Spanish hug on Cutler for the win. So
the Spanish hug.
So heavy thoughts on the match.
Same way, it was a sport fest. At even one point, the commentators were also saying that what the fuck is happening? We cannot call this shit. The sports were happening, blah blah blah. The bam 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 bam, and the selling was nothing to be sold. The sports were happening there, and there. It is happening everywhere. Yes, of course, it is highly entertaining. The attention span of the people at this point, at this juncture of life, is almost nothing. So it is great for them. Absolutely. It was highly entertaining match. It was a sport fest, absolutely. And the story which they were, telling us was that last week the Young Bucks saved Jon Moxley as Kenny Omega and Good Brothers were about to, break his neck with the steel chair. So there was that. It was a highly entertaining match, absolutely. And, happy to see Laredo Kid.
So, the main story was the post-match angle here. You would see Kenny Omega showing up attacking Laredo Kid. So Omega on the mic, he's still sounding like a madman, and he said he's getting vibes from 2019 Fighter Fest with all the wrestlers involved in the ring. So Omega talks to the Bucks. He says the reason he came to AEW was just for them, but sadly the Bucks, didn't return the offer to him. So Omega then offers Bucks a last chance, tells him to join them. Omega throws up the too sweet. Young Bucks decline once again. So the Bucks walk out. Omega is furious. He turns his back and he sees Lucha Bros super kick to Omega. And the Lucha Bros do their, double team finisher on Omega. The Good Brothers and Callis come to check on him. Omega is okay. So there you go. That's the entire segment. And we would get a slight follow up with the interview segment with John Moxley and Eddie Kingston. Shall I get to that, or you want to add something to this?
The Good Brothers came a little late, in my opinion. Came not the thing that which is very much associated with the Good Brothers, but they, came a little late to save Kenny Omega. So something is not right with regards to that. You know, just something is not right. I'm not feeling right.
Let's see it very good. That's the
Kenny
intrigue.
Omega.
That's the intrigue with this whole
Yes.
entire story. Who's gonna turn on who? Who's gonna join the club? Um, I mentioned John Moxley and Eddie Kingston, so they have a little promo. They talk about the current, melodrama in the Bullet Club and what they did to Kingston's leg last week. So Moxley mentions the Young Bucks, says he doesn't like them, but he owes them one and tells them to get ready to get their hands dirty. So this entire thing could be leading to a big six-man tag in the future. And there we could see the conclusion, the first part conclusion of this entire story with the club, with the Young Bucks.
Let's see.
Talking about promo, we had a promo from Jade Cargill. She talks about having problems with Red Velvet and they need to settle things. So, we could be seeing yet another Jade Cargill Red Velvet match, like I said last week. It should be, which will not be bad because they could do that because Jade Cargill is in the verge of getting, built up. So exhibition match aside, this could be a great small mini feud of some sort with Red Velvet.
Yes. I would agree that it would be a competitive match, and absolutely from last week when she Red Velvet did ambush, so to speak, or she tried to from the crowd, that is to Jade. So we can expect that now they are having a match absolutely, and the fact that it was a great promo in my opinion from Jade. It is far better from the person who is saying Murder Hawk Monster a million times. It was great as why? Because she sold what she had to do, that is the feud. And secondly, she also built up Red Velvet, that she is not a thing, to just throw away, that she is someone to not be messed with. She is also a threat. So she also sold Red Velvet. So that is great. It was a good promo from Jade.
So we get to the next match. It was Conti versus Nyla Rose. So this was a rematch from the women's eliminator tournament where Nyla Rose won. So commentators bring up that Conti has been ranked number one in their women's ranking. So I want to say that recently we have been seeing a competitive Nyla Rose. and less of the monster heel Nyla Rose. And we would see the same thing in this match. There were some sloppy spots in this match here and there. Conti, with some stiff kicks and knee strikes. Conti would get the win after a hammerlock DDT. She calls it the DD tie. So, thoughts on this match, Abby, and the outcome with Ty Conti getting over?
I was, a little surprised, obviously, with Taya Conti winning. The fact is that they did, and she was number one, so it is great. Absolutely, Taya Conti has also been on WWE, NXT, and the referee for this match was Aubrey Edwards, obviously. And Taya Conti also put out a video with regards to hyping this match on Instagram, I guess, preparing for the bout, and it was a bloodied fist with a gym bag or a punching bag, whatever you want to call it. And so there's that. Obviously, she is taking it seriously as she should. And now AEW is also, focusing on giving us, that is the fans, competitive women's matches that is not, involving what was the name of her?
Big Swole.
You can read my mind, man. You can read my mind.
I was the
Absolutely.
product, man. I was the product.
Yes. So, yes, Taya Conti's technical prowess was on full exhibition with the judo throws that she did with, Nyla Rose, the size of that woman, and she was doing the judo throws. That was amazing. And the submission maneuvers she did in the initial moments of the bout. Her judo and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu background is, is only helping her in this, pro wrestling venture. She being Taya Conti, obviously. But after the initial flurry, the former champion, that is Nyla Rose, took control of this match. It was highly competitive. Taya Conti looked vicious. I have not seen her in this, avatar anytime. She looked vicious. So she looked vicious and she looked great, in my opinion. And if she goes in such, you can say, in such a way, she could very well, dethrone Hikaru Shida and be the
Uh,
next champion.
this seems to, this seems to like it's not. Let's put the championship on Ty Conti right now, but let's build her up as a
Mhm.
threat to whoever the champion is when she's eligible to compete for the title. As of now, it looks like they'll
Mhm.
be giving that early title shot with Shida, but let's see where it goes. Um,
Right now, yeah, after the post match, I don't think that it there is some time. There is some time, obviously, when she would be getting the title shot. There is some time. Let's see how they build her up. You know.
so post match, you see Vicky Guerrero, she was grabbing onto the leg of Ty Conti. So this allowed Nyla Rose to attack Conti. Hikaru Shida came for the save, attacks Nyla Rose with the kendo stick. Then the bunny shows up. She attacks Shida with her kendo stick. Here comes Matt Hardy, Butcher and Blade. Hardy on the mic. He says the women's tournament was a failure because the bunny was not in it. So he says that his group has been overlooked and it changes now. So more of Matt Hardy in the main event segment too. We'll get to that. A small video package for Scorpio Sky, just like they did last week. Says he has been overlooked, and he will show us his new side of him. Let's see where that goes, where that leads to him. Maybe a second TNT title match. Who knows? So let's get to the main event. No, 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 no. I forgot to mention about a promo segment involving the best friends Miro and Kip Sabian. We got a follow up this week. So they all four men were talking about this arcade inspired match. I don't know if it's a match, actual match, or will these four guys will be playing a game on the arcade set. I don't know, man.
Arcade Anarchy.
Yes, that's the name.
Probably,
That's the name.
yes, and probably they are. It seems that it is going to be a video game showdown.
Let's see where it goes. Let's finally get to the main event for the TNT Championship match. Darby Allin versus John Silver. So what happened was this was a open challenge from Allin to any Dark Order member. So Silver was the one that got selected from all the members of the Dark Order. Really good match here. So we had Silver showing off his strength early on. So Allen taking the technical approach here. We had Sting showing up to take care of the Dark Order members. At one point, Silver was outside. Allen was going for a tope, but accidentally takes out Allen Angels. So back in, Allen was going for a jumping stunner, but Silver with a great counter with a sleeper. Allen somehow managed to escape. So Allen was going for a coffin drop on Silver, but takes out the Dark Order members outside. So back in, Silver was going for a power bomb, but Allen counters into a code red for the win, and that was it. Thoughts on the match and the post-match segment we will see.
Yes, I really enjoyed the match. John Silver, showing his strength, his explosivity to his full advantage, and Darby Allin, as you probably, his athleticism, his resilience, and his heart is basically, his forte. So that is on full display in this match. And yes, he won because of that, his resilience and his heart. Because as you said, he got ragdolled everywhere in the initial part of the match. Silver, showed his full strength, and that is his forte, his advantage, and he showed that. And Allen sold it very well. He sold that he is getting beaten, he is getting beaten to a pulp, and this is real. And he was also selling the bruises on the outside of the ring as well, that yes, I am hurt, and taking the time, you know selling that offense, that someone has hurt me. So that also plays a very much a part in that match. You have been given main event booking, and you showed that. It was a great match in my opinion. No, nothing taken from either of the competitors. Absolutely, it was a great match, and they both the guys are you can say similar in size a little bit with regards to the height. And other than that, both the guys are underdogs with regards to the, if you take the holistic view of their careers. And also in AEW they are underdogs. But the fact that in this match it was Silver's strength versus the heart of Darby Allin, and many at points we were in the belief that Silver could overpower Darby Allin and he could win the TNT championship. But at the end, the Code Red out of nowhere did the deal. Great match, amazing match. Darby Allin is one of the best in ring, psychologists for this main event stuff. Great stuff.
Let's talk the post-match angle here. So post-match, we see Sting helping up Silver. Both him and Allen showing a show of respect. But here comes Matt Hardy and his gang. That these guys were ringside. We see a brawl with the Dark Order, utter chaos here. That's how the show went off the air. Thoughts on this post-match segment?
They will book multi-man matches down the line. But what was, you can say most, that was blatant, most blatant on the screen. That was that they are going to book John Silver versus Matt Hardy in a high stakes match sometime in the future. And we have seen that from a few weeks that Matt Hardy is saying that I have an agenda that I will put down Dark Order for good, every member of the Dark Order. So that was seen in the post match angle that, the Matt Hardy family office, whatever they want to call that fucking thing, that they all attacked whoever the Dark Order are and whoever was with them. So they attacked everybody, full utter chaos. And also with regards to the previous match, that was with regards to Taya Conti. So Taya Conti is also a little bit, you can say, affiliated with the Dark Order. So the Bunny, who is also affiliated with the Matt Hardy brand, so she was also, pushed to attack Taya Conti because she is affiliated to Dark Order, as Matt Hardy's agenda of putting down every member of the Dark Order was on full effect. So he wants to put down Dark Order and he will not spare anyone. So that is what the semi-main event and the main event story was for tonight. That Matt Hardy wants to put down the Dark Order. That's pretty much it. The two factions are at war right now. That was Dynamite.
So it looks like we could be, this whole feud leads until we get to Double or Nothing, or we may get a scenario where we yet again see a second stadium stampede match between these, two groups. Also, involving Hangman Page with the Dark Order.
Yes, possibly. Possibly. Hangman Page being in this match, I can see that. Let's see. Yes, possibly you might be right, but the fact is that he is competing in singles action right now, and he is still with the Dark Order. So why would you want to, push him again against Matt Hardy when you are having this bout, booked sometime in the future that would have, you know, uh, John Silver versus Matt Hardy. So why would you put, Hangman Page, who is a top star there? You build John Silver as that, probably.
Let's see. But I still have a strong prediction that we do see a stadium stampede match at Double or Nothing.
Possibly.
So
Up for it.
that was AEW Dynamite for this week.
Yes, that was AEW Dynamite
So before
for
we leave,
24th March.
where can these guys find you?
Guys, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at AbbyManiac. And I'm currently working with an independent wrestling promotion in India called Wrestle Square. You can subscribe to their YouTube channel at Wrestle Square. I'm working with them as a commentator and as an authority figure, the top 50%.
You can find Slamhub Wrestling on Twitter at SlamhubW, Instagram at Slamhub Wrestling. You can catch our the audio versions of this podcast or review on Anchor and Spotify as well. And also make sure to subscribe right here on YouTube. And we'll see you guys next time.